Hey, welcome. Want to share a few thoughts with you. I'm Chad Emhoff, the EFT guy, also part of this success and vulnerability team. Man, I had a great supervision session the other day. We were talking about how do we get into deeper places with our clients, with our couples. And so the first thing that really came up for me was like, well, how do we do that? You know, I kind of have my ways of doing it. I know other folks do too, but I kind of tried to break it down into a few simple steps. So the first one is I want to find a primary emotion. When I was talking about this, the way I've heard it described is it's something about self, something that describes my experience. A primary emotion, sometimes people think about lists and everything, and those are great if they help you. But for me, a simple way to do it is to go, primary is generally about me. It's primary to me. It's not a protective or secondary emotion about other, right? It's not holding other people out here. Primary is like actually something that's felt, that you can experience inside your own body. So when I think about primary emotion, I think about what are they experiencing internally? How is it to be them? It's a descriptor of that place. So I'm looking for a primary emotion. A lot of times we get those. Clients are, while they may be blocked and use secondary emotion to keep out of those painful places, they'll give them to us as we're working through our appraisal or temp, however you think of it, right? We're getting the trigger, we're looking at emotion and meaning and their protective action around it. And so my client was excellent at that. He's like, I know how to do temp, I can run this. My client, my supervisee, and he's like, I can make those things happen. He's like, I just don't know how to get deeper sometimes. Sometimes running tip takes me deeper. He said, but how do you do it? And I'm like, well, this is what I do. I look for that primary emotion, let's say hurt, and I really use kind of risk in some ways. I'll repeat, I'll use a little bit of imagery. You're walking in the door, you notice that look, and immediately your heart does what around this hurt place? And then I'm going to go really slow, simple, and soft. And I would say there's a progression to that. So we're going from this organizing, okay, so trigger, you come in, you see the look, you know this, your heart does that, it feels hurt, angry, frustrated, all the stuff. And then that's where you tend to, and protective action. But if I'm going to come back to, I want to say, hey, wait just a second. I want to just, and this is where I want to camp. I want to drop my anchor. I want to get out of the helicopter, land the plane, whatever your metaphor is. There's lots of them. But this is where I want to give that hurt room to develop, room to expand. And I want to explore it with them. I want to pull every little bit of that hurt apart that I can and understand really what it's like to be them in this relationship when they hurt like this. And that's where I think you're going to find clients will really start to open up. I'll ask about that hurt and I'll slow down and I'll be curious with them. And all of a sudden you'll see a tear or you'll see the pain kind of emerge. Or sometimes they block around that. But if you're trying to figure out how do I drop people into a more primary, more vulnerable place, that's where risk really is nice. And that's also where just being slow, simple, and soft, thinking about your tone and your pace and your focus around a primary emotion, man, that pays off. That gets people in the right zone to share and to run an enactment. Thanks for checking this out, y'all. I know we get better together. I hope this makes sense. If you have questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments or reach out to me directly. Thanks. Have a great week.